Harvard student at 15, major label recording artist at 20, and at 30, a massive independent success. Who am I talking about? Ryan Leslie, and I want to tell you why you need to check out what he just did on a podcast. If you're new here, I'm Ed Pedersen. I've been making records for over 32 years. I've been an artist, a songwriter, a producer, a bandmate. Let me talk to you about the music business. So there's this podcast on Revolt TV on YouTube. Ryan Leslie sat down with two other chaps, and I'm going to show you a picture of it right here. So when you go to look for it on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. It's about an hour and 15-minute podcast vlog, but it's well worth your time. A couple of the things he said really resonated with me and I think will help you in your career, so dig. The first thing he said that stuck with me was that we need a creative middle class. What does that mean? That means that, like, you know, you look on TV or you hear about in magazines all these big stars and it's all flashy and cars and bling and money. Yeah. There's 12 of those people in the world right now. What we need is a creative middle class. People who can make a living doing what they love, doing what they're passionate about, and pay their bills. That is an extremely great point, and it's doable. I've been doing it for 32 years. So the creative middle class, can we work, do what we want to do what we were born to be put here on this planet for, and pay our bills? Thumbs up to that one. The second was made by one of the people interviewing him. There's an artist on that program. I'm not familiar with the other guy who's in the middle. He was an artist too. And he was talking about, hey man, you know, when you were signed to Motown Records, because when he got out of Harvard, he signed to Motown for the first 2 albums of his career. He's like, you looked like a success to us. You looked like you were living large. And he said, yeah, looked like. And that's part of the problem in the industry, that it looks like you're living large. It looks like you've got the hotels and the cars and playing the big gigs, but are you making money? Well, if you're signed to a major label as he was, you're not keeping it. This first album he released on Motown sold 180,000 copies. That's pretty good. That's damn good, right? The second album got nominated for a Grammy. Whew, that's really awesome, but only sold 60,000 copies. And he makes the point that the marketing systems of the major labels are broken. Because remember, the major labels are just banks. They lend you money, but they also spend money in your name that you're then accountable to somewhere down the line. So you're not really getting paid. You're just borrowing against yourself, and you may not make the money back. You may not get really paid unless you sell millions and millions of copies. So he was saying that, you know, how come my second album only sold 60,000 if it was nominated for a Grammy and was supposedly better than the first record? He's like, why didn't they have an email list of all the people who bought that first album and said, hey, if you liked Ryan Leslie's first record, maybe you'll like this? He's like, that's a fundamental breakdown in marketing and one of the reasons why he went independent. And by going independent, he has his own email list. He has reservations that you make through his own service for his concerts. He buys out the venues because all the venues are tied to Ticketmaster and Ticketon, whatever the other thing is called. And so he's like, great, I don't want to deal with them. I don't want my fans to deal with the fees. I'm going to buy out the theater. He's like playing like 800-seat theaters. He buys out the theater, buys it out. So what happens immediately is that's a sellout, right? That gets marked on their software as a sellout. Then he can charge a little bit more for each customer, but he can give them a little bit more. Like you could give them a free download of that show. The merch, he doesn't even handle the merch directly. You buy the merch and it gets delivered by another company, so you don't actually have to carry around all the merch to the show. You know, maybe you've ordered too much and then you carry it from show to show and it's just more stuff to do. Instead, you just show up and play play to people that want to see you play, but you give him a little extra. He has a reservation system. So if the reservations are for 1,000 and the venue's 800, he knows he might need a bigger venue, and on and on and on. And those are his loyal fans. He even has his own streaming service. He doesn't hate Spotify as much as I do, but he does think it's all evil, a necessary evil, he says in this podcast, vlogcast. And he's like, but eventually it will be fair. And he agrees with me, it's not fair. So he does his own service for free. Brilliant. Another thing he said that I think you should recognize about the industry, and this is life in general, that there's no better feeling in life than helping somebody, right? Right. I love helping people. It makes me feel good. But you have to take care of yourself first so that you can take care of other people. But there's no better feeling in the world. So be nice to everybody. Be kind. Be thoughtful and considerate, and it will go a long way. And, it doesn't always happen this way, but some of those people will want to help you somewhere down the line. So again, go check out this vlog podcast on YouTube, Revolt TV with Ryan Leslie. And it's much longer than I can encapsulate here. But those are just some of the bullet points that I think you really should know, because he hit all of them on the head. They're 110% accurate. And these are the things that will help you succeed. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Work hard, stay positive, and you can make it in this business, because there's a lot of people out there trying to do the same thing. And if you work harder and are nicer to people and do all the right things, you will have a better chance of making it.